All please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get a roll call. Present.
Mr. D'Angiano.
Here.
Mr. Logan.
Here.
Mr. Supervisor Williams.
Here. Somebody like to make a motion on the reports?
We should make a motion to accept and approve the code compliance, code enforcement, dog control officers, and Patterson recreation for August 2022, as well as the ECI for July through September 2022. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion on the supervisor's report.
Make a motion to approve the July 2022 supervisor report. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion on the minutes.
Sure, I'll make a motion. We approve the public hearing minutes of July 27th, 2022 on establishing and extending the sewer district to the hamlet of Patterson, and the town board meeting minutes of July 27th, August 10th, and August 24th, 2022. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody like to audit the bills?
Yep. I will. I'll make a motion the town board approve abstract number 16 dated August 26, 2022 in the amount of $167,874.83. So moved.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Who was that second? Thank you.
And we have 3 budget adjustments.
All right, budget adjustment number 19 is necessary to allocate additional funds to the ambulance equipment and insurance accounts for the new EMS ambulance and what we like to call the fly car. Will increase safety inspection fees, 10,000, ambulance fees, 10,000, ambulance fees revenue account, 10,000. It will decrease contingency account, $7,500, unallocated insurance, $1,500, and ambulance equipment and capital outlay expense accounts, $26,000. Make a motion, the town board approve budget adjustment request number 19. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Budget adjustment request number 20, requested to allocate additional funds to the highway road improvement capital account for the increased New York State DOT funding. And we're going to increase consolidated highway improvement program revenue account by $100,000. And we're going to increase the improvements, equipment and capital outlay expense account by $100,000. Make a motion the town board approve budget adjustment request number 20. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have budget adjustment request number 21, and that's necessary to allocate landfill reserve funds for the 2022 landfill monitoring costs. And we're going to increase fund balance designated capital project fund balance account, $3,250. And we're going to increase the refuse and garbage equipment and capital outlay expense accounts, $3,250. So I'll make a motion the town board approve budget adjustment request number 21. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unfortunately, Ms. Smith is not here. Charlie, would you like to
Okay.
step in?
First, we have a bunch of requests here from Matt Chaparro, our Director of Recreation and Parks. And the rec department recently received a $1,000 donation from the Golden Age Seniors of Patterson. The group has ceased to be meeting and would like the funds to be used for any programs that benefit the seniors. So I'll make a motion that the town board accept the donation and allow the recreation department to use the $1,000 donation towards senior programming and or events that will occupy prior to the end of this year. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve this donation from the Golden Age Seniors of Patterson. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I want to also mention that the Golden Age seniors donated $1,000 to the Patterson Library. And the public relations and event coordinator, Lily Vicente, has reached out and plans on using that donation to provide entertainment for our senior luncheon on November 9th. And that is for the payment for Tony T's Orchestra. So there'll be music and dancing at the November seniors luncheon on November 9th. Next, we have a non-bid procurement request form from Rick on ordering reversible scrimmage vests, and the low bidder was Extreme Designs in an amount not to exceed $247.50. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve Extreme Designs bid to for the 30 reversible scrimmage vests. So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. Next, we have another non-procurement request form, this time for 30 cotton shirts with logo and 40 dry wick shirts with logo and number. Again, Extreme Designs came in as the low quote and the amount of $850. So I will make a motion the town board approve Extreme Designs quote not to exceed $850 for the cotton shirts and the logo shirts. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's, I think I'll save this one to last. This is program events coming up. Next, we have recommendation from Matt to approve new hires. One being Shane Rivera, how do you say it? Rivera,
Rivera-Brun.
Who has worked in a neighboring recreation department and has experience in leading an ultimate frisbee program. He's also spent time at the rec center doing our youth basketball program, collaborating with the town of Kent this past winter. Matt is recommending a pay rate of $13 per hour for Shane. He's also recommending Ira Kalin to the junior staff. She has played some sports and has a strong desire to work with children in a recreation center. Presently a senior at Brewster High School and looks forward to joining our team. And Matt is requesting a pay rate of $11 per hour for Kira. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve these two pay rates, one for Shane, one for Kira. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Next, we have. You want to hold off on this one?
My recommendation would be we hold off on any salary adjustments.
Okay.
Talk about it during the budget.
I disagree.
All right, go ahead.
It's all news to me.
Well, that's why we're talking about it. So,
What, you want to bring it up?
No, just before you came up, I had a very brief conversation with the supervisor, and he asked that the salary adjustment recommendations be held off until we meet with Matt on his budget. I guess in a couple of weeks, 10 days.
I think the issue though is, okay, so we meet in a couple of days and we agree on some salary adjustments, but they won't take effect till the budget takes effect.
if we could make a decision on it to have them take effect
So
immediately.
why would we wait? Why if he needs them now?
He's talking about doing salary adjustments for existing employees with no change in duties and no additional responsibilities. Me, for one, I would like to have a further conversation with Matt. I did have a conversation with Matt, but I thought in having the conversation with Matt, it would be beneficial to have the whole board involved and having the conversation with Matt about why he's proposing salary adjustments in between budget cycles. He's not making them during the budget.
I thought it was because we had lost some people.
Well,
Just
he
kind of bringing
He
some,
wants to replace Matt, sure, Pat that we lost, but he's not looking for them to do anything different than they're doing now. And, you know, again,
Would
in
they have
having
more-
the conversation.
would they have more responsibilities though?
Well, that's the $64 question. Are they gonna have more responsibilities? Exactly what responsibilities are they gonna have? And then he's talking about taking a couple of, you know, young staff and putting them in charge of the building and the programs and everything else when he's not there. Well, personally, I've got a problem with, you know, the salary rate that he's talking about for that. Don't know that it shouldn't be at a higher rate. Which is, again, why when I was having this conversation with Matt, I kind of curtailed the conversation after, you know, hearing some of what he said, and thought it might be best that the whole board hear the conversation. And then we, as a board, make a decision about, you know, why we're doing salary adjustments, you know, in the middle of the year.
If we lost people back in March, would we be doing the same thing? Would he be
Well,
requesting?
generally, if we lose somebody, we're going to be hiring somebody to replace that individual. He's not looking to do that,
But he's looking to kind of promote someone though, right?
but he's not promoting anybody. He's just giving them salary increases. They're not changing positions. They're not changing responsibility and duties.
Well, excuse me, Colin.
Well, Colin is, yes,
Yes.
one is. One's going from junior staff to senior staff. That's justifiable for me, that I understand. But
Should we vote on that?
if you'd like to vote on that, listen, you can make a motion on any one of you want to make a motion on.
Well, I think, Rich, let me just say this, what you're explaining, it would be nice to have Matt, a memo is only like, I would never be able to do this and send it to my administration allegedly without going before them and explaining things. They would take this as the starting point, not the absolute. They ask me questions. So it's hard. We've been pretty good, but to have our managers here to, for the public's edification and for ours to really go through this, we're really usually good about these increases. But I think for what you've mentioned with the changes in rates and not being clear about the changes in job duties, it's appropriate. Whether it's at a meeting now or at a future meeting, you know, 2 weeks from now, or the budget meeting, I think it's appropriate. But I agree, if this is just an increase for this Colin Florence and it's justified and it's just pretty straightforward, we can certainly do that tonight.
So are we replacing Pat? I don't understand.
Well, that's the thing, I don't know.
I didn't read these requests.
So again,
We're just saying, okay, we're gonna skip these requests. I don't even know what they are. And I guess there was conversations going around that I obviously wasn't privy to. So
2 seconds before everybody walked in, I had a conversation with Charlie and I had a conversation with Sean while you were talking.
And to be clear, what Rich said was we have some requests from Matt that I think we're gonna have a meeting with him at budget time. And we can talk and then we can take an action, whether it's immediate or at the end of the budget, and that's the extent of the conversation. So we'll make sure you're clear that it's not subversive nor more involved than what I just said right there. So.
And I have confirmed with Matt, he is available for our first budget meeting at 4
I think
o'clock.
Matt wanted these tonight.
I know Matt wanted these tonight. But
So
I
if he
think,
wanted these
I
tonight,
think,
what-
I think we need better clarification. I, for one, need better clarification about the hierarchy down there at the rec center. And, you know, who we're promoting, who we're not promoting, who's doing what functions.
Rich, do we have a clear organizational chart for the rec center?
I don't believe we do.
All right, so that, let's task Matt between now and the meeting of coming up with his organizational chart, which we should have anyway for all our departments that, you know, list exactly the breakdown of from him down through where all the breakdown is. That's just a good pictograph of where we should at least know where things fall into play.
I agree.
I think you could consider Colin stepping up to this senior position, which Pat had and left. Okay, or retired. So,
And we should also do an org chart this year for the whole town. It should be across the board, sanitation, not a difficult thing. I mean,
No.
have Shannon or somebody work on it.
But to your point, Pete, I mean, you know, he's looking to replace one person that we lost with 3 people. You know, how is that gonna work?
I'd like to make a motion to raise Colin Florence's salary to $14.25 per hour. So
Second.
All in favor?
hi,
Anything else?
There's no sense me doing anything else if you already had, there was already previous conversations, then you're all gonna vote no, so why would I even bother bringing
Well,
anything else?
but just to be clear, and I actually don't appreciate the way you just said that, because to be clear, based on the information the supervisor gives, I think it's appropriate that we get more information than what we have in front of us. And you just said you didn't read the information, so,
I had a conversation with Matt today.
okay. But I don't appreciate the way you just said that, Pete. That wasn't fair.
Well,
Because it indicated prior conversations that seem subversive, and that's not it at all. I don't want you to make more of something than what it is.
okay, I'm not saying I looked stuff over. I didn't read it exactly. I haven't gone through it, got the numbers and everything. That's I clarified.
So we are very supportive of our department head. When they ask for stuff, we primarily do it. But in this case, let's have a conversation with someone. It's 2 weeks. We have them in, we talk with them, whether it's at the next town board meeting. Typically, people like the budget meetings because they're more, not informal, but because they're still public meetings, but they're a little more back and forth exchange. Let's talk with Matt. Let's get an org chart. Let's look at what's going on. I'm sure
So-
we're going to be supportive of what he's doing.
You gotta understand my position, where obviously other people had conversations and no one mentioned, we sat in we were down in the conference room for 45 minutes. No one mentioned this to me. Obviously, you guys had conversations on this, so you gotta understand my position.
I'm
So-
not
So don't
understanding.
get mad at me for getting defensive
I'm
on this
getting mad at you
when,
with the way you said that, because you're making it sound like conversations, like chat back and forth. I just told you exactly what Rich said to me, almost verbatim. And all it was, hey, there's something on the agenda for some positions. We're gonna bring that in and talk about it.
I just wish someone would have mentioned.
So,
that.
and I forgot because it was that petty. It was like, hey, we have something on the agenda we're gonna push to a conversation. So, given with the other things we were talking about, it's not, to me, this is such a non-issue that I'm a little embarrassed by this conversation, quite honestly.
Okay, I think you both expressed your feelings on this. If we can kind of move on. Charlie, you want to pick it back up?
Next, we have a memo from Matt Chabarro, a thank you note. I guess I'll just read it. So, Donna, you have copies of this, right? These memos?
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Matt. I am writing this letter to show my appreciation and gratitude to the town's highway department and building maintenance department for the work performed on the ball field on Cornwall Hill Road. I would like publicly to thank Highway Superintendent Russ Goff for allowing his guys to perform the work, Margot Miller for setting the plan in motion, Highway Department workers, Tim Whelan, Stephen Donahue, Dennis Nichols, who went above and beyond in removing old clay and weeds, bringing in soil and leveling out the area. I also removed the thick brush that has been creeping closer and closer to the playing field. I would also like to thank publicly thank Dennis Mays for his part in completing the project. Dennis raked the entire area multiple times, planted the seed, and spread the hay. He made sure the grass was watered each day also. This work, all this work, and not a day was the temperature below 90 degrees. My hats off to all of them. So thank you, Matt, for expressing that. Thank you to the highway guys, and thank you to Dennis Mays. Next, should we save this one for the budget meeting too?
Well, I don't know that we need to save this for the budget meeting. I tried to reach out to some people with the Department of Labor. I was not successful to find out whether volunteers have to go through the same training as everybody else. I understand Matt's frustration. And I have not had a chance to talk to Sue Brown about this as well. So
So we might as well just hold it.
I
At
mean,
least until
I'm
you
not in a
get-
position to make a decision on this
Yeah,
because I
right.
don't know that legally we can waive it. Jamie, you have any thoughts?
My other question about it, I don't know much about these NeoGov annual training, but if there's any insurance issues that require the training, that's the other avenue that I'd like to look into.
It's not so much the insurance, but the Department of Labor requires specific training every year for every town employee.
Yeah,
We've
and they
been-
require we don't know if the volunteers are required to do that same training is the
Correct.
question. I can certainly look into it for you and get you a position on it shortly.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll hold. All right, that takes care of recreation.
No,
No,
not
what did I miss?
So we got Shannon Farrell.
I'm sorry?
We've got a letter from Shannon Farrell formally resigning as the position of lifeguard manager.
Oh.
So I'd like to make a motion to accept Shannon Farrell's resignation from the position of lifeguard manager with regret. She did an absolutely phenomenal job this year managing the lifeguards.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we have the programs.
Just
Thank you.
real quick, while we're on lifeguards, a couple years ago, we had a gentleman named Aaron Clancy
Yes,
who came and did our lifeguard training.
yes.
He was involved in a fatal crash the other day, head on, and he's deceased. So,
That's a shame.
yeah, 51 years old, wife and kids.
Sober.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, thank you for letting us know.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. The last item from Matt is, let's see. I guess I'm going to just read these off. Beginning this fall, the Recreation Department will be offering Family Bingo Nights, a free themed event for the local community. Our first one will be a Halloween Family Bingo Night on Friday, October 7th. We will have fun, play some games, give away some Halloween themed prizes. The concession stand will be open in case we have some hungry families. Our October senior luncheon will be held on the second Tuesday of the month, October 11th. We will have a Recreation Department, Patterson Rec's first annual pumpkin painting night on Friday, October 14th. We will see who can make the spookiest pumpkin. The cost per participant will be $10, no discounts. The concession stand will be open during this event also. The semi-annual military and knife collector show hosted by the Duffel Bag will be on Saturday, October 15th at the Rec Center. On Friday, October 21st, we will have our second annual Halloween pizza night party. Regular pizza night rates apply. On Saturday, October 22nd, we will have our semi-annual community tag sale at the Rec Center. Reserve your space today, October 22nd for the tag sale. We will be participating in a trunk or treat on Friday, October 28th at either Matthew Patterson School or with the Putnam County Youth Bureau on the Donald B. Smith campus. The Putnam Lake Seniors Group meets every Wednesday at noon at the Rec Center. That's it. Full line of stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Next, we have from Sonic Tel, a service contract, which is pretty much an annual thing. if I
It is.
recall. So we will, in the amount of $1,872. And it'll go from September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2023. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the contract amount of $1,872, the annual contract amount of $1,872 with Sonatec Tel for phone service support at town hall. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
I think that's it.
That is it. Peter,
Okay, first I have a request from the Controller's Office for custom window security envelopes. She submitted 3 price quotes and notable corporation. She cheapest for $850. I'd like to make a motion to approve $850. Purchase custom Windows security envelopes from notable corporations. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I have two memos from the Department of Code Enforcement. Created on August 23rd, 2022, payment in the amount of $175. Check numbers such and such was processed for a permit to install an above-ground LP tank and lines. Upon review, however, it was noted that this LP tank and lines were being installed in conjunction with an existing project to install a standby generator at the residence. Per our fee schedule, if oil or gas work is being done as an extension of an existing permit project, the cost of the fuel gas permit drops to $50. So he's requesting a refund on the amount of $125, which is the difference from the $175 that was paid and the $50 that are due. So I'd like to make a motion to refund the amount of $125. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second, we have a Same deal.
Second.
exactly. So this is for Pandy and Son Plumbing and Heating. I'd like to make a request, same exact thing, for a refund of $125. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is all I have.
Next, we have the service agreement with Peak Power Systems. Want to extend their current contract. And they want us to let us know if they put together a proposal for 1-year extension.
So before you go too much farther, that email from Peak Power this morning, that they want to do the 1-year extension based on an increase in the rates. Okay. Get that out there. Go ahead.
No, so they do have to, if they're going to increase the rates, they do have to send a proposal in, because we'll have to go bid, basically. So either they keep it the same and we're okay, or we have to go out to bid.
So you have in your packets tonight the copy of the bid document. You may not have it.
Okay, that's okay.
You picked it up. I apologize, John.
No.
It's been a crazy day.
So, so I'll make a motion then on this. Yeah, all right.
Authorize the bid.
Yeah. I will make the motion, the town board to authorize the town clerk to publish an invitation to bid for preventive maintenance, repair, and emergency service of standby generators located in the town. Bid date return is October 6th, 2022 at 2 p.m. So,
Second.
All in favor?
aye. Now, next, which we don't have in our packet, is the landfill closure report. And I know that Rich sent that out to everybody, the luminous. And basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but that their inspection went well.
Very well. Got a couple of small pipes to repair, but as far as the monitoring, landfill is doing very well.
We make a motion to accept the report or just,
Just
announce
Just
it,
accept it.
Just announce it at the meeting, which you just did.
okay,
All set, Charles?
I'm good.
Okay, next item we have is related to setting a public hearing for the special districts. This is for the estimate of expenses and revenues. The public notice is for the special districts assessment role and the annual estimate of expenses and revenues for special districts. And it's been prepared by our Office of the Assessor. So I'll make a motion that we set a public hearing for this for October 12th, 2022 at 7 p.m. or as soon as can be heard. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a request. This goes back to the rec center and some maintenance issues. We've been working through the safety committee and through Dennis Mays and Matt Chavarro to try to fix those double doors on the rec center. We've had a variety of ways that we've tried to do that, short of replacing the entire doors, which is a monumental feat and lots of money. So we've started with some work, but they're thinking that the computer module that controls the doors needs to be repaired and replaced, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's been very frustrating. And that is an issue for safety, for fire hazard, and for not letting people in when they shouldn't be in, or when we have children in the building, controlling access. So the proposal to replace the computer control box is for an amount of $900. And that is from Burchett Door Company. So I'll make a motion. We approve that request for the rec center. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, first on my agenda is we've received the report from Collier Engineering and Design concerning the issues of Fields Corners Road and the Brewster Yard project in the town of Southeast. The report actually confirms what we believe to be true, was that there is likely to be a significant impact to Fields Corners Road from the project that has gone unaddressed. Does anybody have any questions on the report?
Pretty straightforward.
Yes. No.
Confirms what we were.
Charlie, got to get rid of that yellow magic marker.
There's still some ink in it for the budget workshops.
Oh, I'm looking
I'll
forward.
buy you a
to
new
it.
one.
There you go. We used to get them from, remember, we used to get them from Mazer Consulting. We would get the pen and it had the highlighter on the other end. And
Yep.
Charlie was tough with that one.
I'm gonna get you some other colors.
Please
No
don't.
colors out there.
Don't encourage
Yeah,
him.
really. All right.
Between that and Post-its, I mean, he's keeping
Little
staples in
flags.
business.
Nobody has any comments on that. I will get it down to the town of Southeast Planning Board. Great.
Yes.
Great.
I was gonna say, right, I mean, basically you extract a lot of these comments, put it in a memo and ship it down there, or do you
Well, I'm
just,
sending the whole thing.
the whole thing?
I'm sending the whole
Good
thing.
man. Be
All right.
interesting to see what they say.
There have been a number of interesting conversations I have had. I am waiting to see how they pan out. So, next on my agenda is just a point of clarification. At the last town board meeting, we had authorized the library to use the parking lot. They had asked that they use the parking lot on the Sunday, and the event was actually on the Saturday. So just to let everybody know that the library will be using the parking lot on Saturday unless somebody objects.
Okay.
All right. We have a drum roll.
Yeah.
All right. Tonight I present the town board with a tentative budget for 2023. As always, I would like to recognize Patricia Brooks, town controller, for all the hard work she puts into preparing the tentative budget. I can tell you this year, going back and forth with her, it was quite the Herculean task. This is the 7th tentative budget. By far, this has been the most challenging of the budgets. We've seen the town's operational costs significantly increase this year as the rate of inflation has climbed to 8.5%. In a year-to-year comparison, the average cost of diesel fuel is up by 70%. Gasoline costs were up by 48%. Asphalt is up by 80%. Nearly all of our vendors have sought price increases or imposed a fuel charge. You saw an example tonight with peak power. This year, we have seen our utility costs rise dramatically, and NICEAG has provided notice they are seeking yet another rate increase of up to 22% in the summer of 2023. These rising energy costs not only affect our operation, but our employees at home and in their commute, and our taxpayers. The challenge this year has been to develop a budget for 2023 that balances all of these competing interests, which is not overly harsh on our taxpayers, but meets the needs of the town. This year's tentative budget proposes an overall increase of 2.5% in spending, which is significantly under our present rate of inflation. Also want to let the board know at the same time, the tentative budget makes significant improvements to our fund balance held by the town as a hedge against the uncertainty of our present economy and what we may incur occur in the future. You all have it. We have a series of budget meetings scheduled. And I look forward to hearing your comments and questions and seeing your little yellow highlights. And meeting with department heads. As I had mentioned earlier, I have already scheduled one of the work sessions with Matt, one of the first ones in. I know Patterson Fire Department is also anxious to meet with us. Does anybody have any thoughts about when we should do that meeting? Or
With Patterson,
yeah,
like I said, if they want to get in soon, let's have them in at the first budget meeting if you want.
or you want to do it the second one? We'll do Matt the first one, and that'll give us some time for everybody then to go through the budget,
Yeah.
ask questions, and before they come in, and I'll try to schedule them for the second.
We have
That's fine.
five meetings scheduled, if I remember, correct? 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Okay,
Should be fun.
other business. Any board member have any other business they wish to bring up at this time?
I wanted to mention, go ahead, Charles, you don't.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to mention for the board and for the public that I mentioned this at a separate meeting last night, that I'm happy to say that we are quickly moving forward with getting geared up for phase 3 of our boardwalk project, which is, I think, when you think about the number of people that use that property, I mean, I'm constantly bumping into people that say, oh, I go down there every day, or I go with my kids, or I go kayaking. And the boardwalk project is kind of something that I'm glad not the whole world knows about, because it's a lot of our Patterson residents, but a lot of people come to the community. Matt Chavarro told me that over the summer, the children's camps, they would bring the kids there. They would teach about the Great Swamp and about nature. So we're getting a lot of mileage out of that, but we're not done. It's going to be that much better. Phase 3 will be another section of the boardwalk of, I'm going to guess and say 150 feet, that will provide connectivity to the trail system that will allow people to either hike a loop trail back to the parking lot, or if they're, let's say they're handicapped or they don't have good mobility, it'll be kind of handicap compliant. They can go down to the end, turn around and come back. So it's going to provide a lot of opportunity. I'm also happy to say that I've been speaking with members of the Carmel Boy Scouts Association, because I think Patterson doesn't have a very strong presence. They're going to essentially try to line up. They have, I think, 3 Eagle Scout project, or people that are looking to do Eagle Scout projects in the near future. And I think it'd be a great opportunity to get our youth involved, because this is a community project. It's not about, we could just hire somebody to build it. And I don't think that would be the same effect. I think it's better when we have community involvement, volunteerism, and if we can get a couple of Eagle Scout projects out of it, I think it just builds to making the project that much better. So we have some ideas for some benches. You recall we have the plaque that Rick Ciricelli and Gail Ciricelli are doing on behalf of their son Anthony, that will be placed somewhere around that area. And I think it's a great opportunity. So I'm hoping that over the next 2 months or so, you're going to see significant progress. I've got to place some orders, line up the volunteers and the voluntold, and we're gonna, I think the weather is looking great for the fall. And so I'm very happy about, the opportunity to continue on that project. And we essentially have phase 3, which is the extension. And then phase 4 would be the railings that need to go around the main platform, the benches. So I would say probably by spring of next year, we should be pretty well ready to have a gala event. And I think we're in good shape for a lot of great things happening on that project. And again, I'm just blown away that I bump into people in the grocery store, and you strike up a conversation, and that there's, we've literally had thousands and thousands of people over the last couple of years, especially during COVID, that have used that park, but especially they go down and use that boardwalk. And it's a great ability to allow people to experience the wetland without impacting it. And so I think it's been a win-win. And I think it's a big part of what we're building here with, our EMS building, our town center, the rec center, the library, the fire. We've got such a great thing going on here.
We do.
And now adding in the idea that we're going to be investing in the water supply for Front Street in the future. I think great things are happening in Patterson. So I'm happy to be part of a great team with you guys and Mary, Ms. Smith. So very proud of what we're doing here. I don't think people always know all the work that's behind the scenes, but I think it's good stuff. So thank you.
Well, I agree with you.
Thank you.
very proud of the team that we have here and the work that we're doing. Of course, anything I can do to support you at that boardwalk.
You can place the order when I write the list.
You tell me what to order and I'll order it. Okay, I have one little piece of news that I received today. As everybody knows, that we are doing a study in Putnam Lake on the lake. It's a precursor to make some decisions about what we're going to do with the lake. A few weeks ago, I learned about a county program that might offset some of the costs. They actually put a grant application in with the county, and today I heard that we had received it. I don't know.
Soil and water?
It is.
I heard about the money. They were saying, how come Patterson isn't in it? We got money to give. I said,
We're
"Oh,
in it.
We're in it.
We're
So
in
that's
it.
Great. Good. Beautiful.
So
Very
don't
good.
have
Nice
all the
move.
details yet,
Yeah,
but
good.
we are in it and we've been awarded some funds.
Great.
So,
That'll help.
all right, we will open it up now to public recognitions. Any member of the public that is here with us tonight have any questions or comments that they wish to address the board on? You could approach the mic, state your name for the record and your address. Excuse me, is the mic on?
You just tap the mic and see if it's, no.
It's on.
Okay, good evening. My name is Jürgen Temple. I live at 252 Ice Pond Road. I actually meant to already come to a town board meeting earlier in the season, but my schedules and everything didn't allow. The last time I ran late and the meeting was so short that I only had a brief conversation with Sean Rogan in the parking lot. But now I'm here. Just wanted to talk about a couple of concerns. My main concern, and I think it's a lot of people's concern in our town as well as the neighboring town of Southeast, is the whole Brewster Yards project. What is supposed to be developed there on along Paxley Road between Route 312 and basically stretching almost up to Fair Street is tremendous. It will destroy our whole area and change our infrastructure totally. It will take away from the nature we have around there. It will create traffic nightmares. I'm more concerned about even the impact towards the southeast side and Metro North access in southeast along Route 312, but also here on the Patterson Fair Street Bullet Hole Road side. It will have a tremendous impact. And it's not only one project that is going on there, it's at least two. Right now, there are hearings about the Pro Swing sports complex. As a matter of fact, I wrote a comment to the town of Southeast just on their deadline, August 26, which conveniently was set at a date when many people are still on vacation. So that's maybe not the most appropriate things our neighbors in Southeast may have done, but I hope there's more opportunity to push back on that project. Even worse, and I didn't find out about it until after the fact, and I guess in the neighboring towns, the information doesn't come as quick as in Southeast, is the truck logistics center or Amazon warehouse. I don't even know which one it will be. But first of all, this has already destroyed part of the nature, will disturb the wetlands around there. The trucks will bring noise, traffic, and pollution. It may even bring more crime to the area. This is unacceptable. And we have great recreational facilities next to it. How will this fit into the spirit of the Tilly Foster Farm, the Carmel Golf Course, the Middle Branch Reservoir, and the Westchester Putnam biking rail trails around there. I'm very concerned. The sports complex on top of it may tie up our first responders resources. I think our schools provide sufficient opportunity for our young people to be involved with athletic activities. What would be more appropriate would be something, develop something like Patterson is developing the boardwalk project. I like to actually hear about that. Maybe a small little nature resort with a small hotel, but then mostly nature trails to walk around. Maybe an aerial park in the woods. Maybe a small pond that blends in with that wetlands there. Something like that. And something that even develops a small scale, I say tourism, where people from the city can just come up on Metro North and right there, they get something to enjoy they don't have in the city. That would be an alternative for a development in this area. I appreciate you all are working on a traffic study, but that alone is not enough. The traffic study should result in one of the reasons, among all the others, that this project must not happen. This needs to be pushed back against. The sports complex can still be prevented through hearings and people pushing back. I'm afraid on the logistics center, which is even worse, and Amazon warehouse, the only way to get this canceled is the court system. I'm just very concerned. I have enjoyed living here for 16 years in a quiet, nature-surrounded area. I don't want this to happen, and I hope it will not happen. So this is my main concern. Other than that, with regards to the town of Patterson, other things that concern me is keeping the town clean. As I said, I really like the boardwalk project. Invest more in similar projects, sustainable project. Sean, you advised me about the ambulance building, which is being set up with infrastructure money.
You mean the COVID relief money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is definitely on one hand a good idea, but I wonder, do we need to spend $800,000 on a building just for ambulances? We have a nice firehouse nearby, and it looks to me like a good facility.
Can I interject, or can you allow us to say anything, or you
Sure,
want us to wait till you're done?
absolutely,
So it's a conversation.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, though, it's not a place just to house ambulances. It's for the workers. Right now, they're housed in basically almost like a closet in the fire department. The fire department is not big enough for an ambulance service, but they're being very good neighbors and good to the community by allowing our EMTs to stay there. But it's not sustainable, and they don't want them there full term.
Oh,
What we're building for them and what we're planning is someplace where they're not sitting in a truck waiting for a call, where they have,
Yeah.
we're talking about a kitchenette, a bathroom, showers, a decon facility, laundry facility, storage for their technical equipment. This is something that we desperately need for these people, and it's long overdue. We really would have liked to have had this already done. So the money, it does sound like a lot, but we're talking about building something for the future of Patterson that is protecting all of our residents in their time of need. So respectfully about that, I disagree that there's money that we are getting that was earmarked for this project. It's not that we can just use it for whatever we'd like. It needed to be approved and we needed to support. And ultimately the county approved our request, which was not just an EMS building. It was the EMS building, but it was also several other things like the Putnam Lake Dam, the variable message boards, and some other great things. So it's not something we can just say, yeah, we're going to spend less and then take 300 and put it towards what we want. So I just want you to have that.
Sure, I understand.
Sure.
I spoke on July 5th before the legislature. And
Yeah.
I also challenged them on the county use of
Understood.
COVID funding.
And you recognize the time frame that they were under as well, that there was not, it wasn't like we had a year to study this. There were decisions that needed to be made fairly quickly.
Yes, yes, I understand. So maybe this is so an opportunity if future months come in. We have the Inflation Reduction Act, which I anticipate will eventually set free money for sustainable improvements. So what I think, I keep mentioning nature, maybe sustainability with the town's buildings, put solar cells on the roof of this building and the rec center, just as an idea. We are missing totally a public transportation system. We need to drive by car anywhere. Let's collaborate with the other towns to create a better transit system that takes people from Patterson to Southeast to Carmel all the way to Cold Springs. That would be a collaborative project, of course. And our sanitation needs in Patterson. The recycling center is doing a decent job, and they have expanded the stream of recyclable products over the couple of years. But there is more room for improvement. Why do plastic, hard plastic containers still need to be thrown into the general dumpster if plastic is recyclable, for example? Also, let's invest in that garbage gets dumped where it's supposed to be dumped. Maybe along our rural routes where people don't watch all the time, let's set up some video cameras so we catch the guys who dump garbage alongside Ice Pond Road and charge them the $1,000 fine that the signs say need to be charged. So this is just one of my concerns. And I know there are other roads than Ice Pond roads that experience the same problem. Now, third, let's
That's not
inspire
third.
some positive thinking. Our neighboring towns, Southeast Carmel, and so on, they have at some point in the year a street fair, film festival. Let's have something like that, either here in the hamlet of Patterson or in Putnam Lake.
We typically do. Unfortunately, due to some planning issues this year, we had to cancel it. But hopefully it will be back next year in full force.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. George?
First is Vice President, also on the Patterson Library Board. And I'd just like to say for not only the people here, but people that watch this, any of the information I get can be found on the Patterson Library.org website. So I might leave out some dates and times, but always look this up. So I have 5 quick ones here. I know that everyone thinks September is back to school month. Yeah, it is, but it's also library card sign-up month. So please, we'll be out here for the fire department, Blues and Partnership, a little table set up. You can always come into the library. We're offering anybody who signs up for a card can It's a raffle ticket. For adults, it's driving around town raffle, some of the various businesses here. And for kids, there's baskets, rubber games, Legos, and of course, books. You can also come in if you have an older worn key tag or library card. You can get it replaced at no charge in September. We're trying to resurrect our Patterson Library Friends Group. There's an interest meeting on Thursday, the 29th of this month at 7 p.m. Again, you can find that information on the library website. We're doing the Medicare 101, which we've already done here at the library. The next one is for Plutt Lake at Sacred Heart Church at Thursday, November 3rd. So we're having 2 sessions for those people who are anticipating making that wonderful journey into Medicare. And Thursday the 13th is a matinee. Right?
I think I'm
So
going to try to
Elvis
go
is
to
going
that.
to be shown at the library.
Take-
And, as I said, Thursday the 13th of October, it's not. And then real quick, some programs that we have for the little ones, Ready Readers, the Ancient Egypt King Tut hieroglyphics program, Chester Gym. And for our teens, we have Minecraft, Cooking with Dave, Mystery Night, and decorating. So I encourage all of our residents to stop by the library, go to the website. A lot of good things going on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, George. Always great information.
George's wait lists on some of those activities. I was on the website and I was trying to register for something, one of his seminars one night, and it's a wait list. It's so popular. It was the
One of the things we're trying to do, because we found that a lot of many of our programs get wait lists. So what we're trying to do is we want to get our Patterson residents on.
oh, okay.
Because it is open to anybody. Comes in, with a lot of people from all over the place. So we are working diligently.
Well, it's funny. I don't think the registration asked for the address. I think it was just name and maybe phone number or something. So I don't know how they'll know that.
Make it sound like the library is cool, but you are watching.
We know. Yeah, I know. I have that chip in my neck. It's twitching. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd open public recognition up to those who are joining us by Zoom. There's nobody on? Okay. Then I would like to ask the board's indulgence if we could have a brief executive session at
Second.
the end of the meeting in regards to land acquisition.
Second that motion.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive sessions. Seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all for coming.